I'm not much of a VGC player, I'm not much of a PvP player in Pokemon in general, but I did manage to get Master Ball rank in Pokemon Champions within a week of the game being out. And I have been requested to share the teams that I've used. So I want to share both of my battle teams that I used for this specifically. So this is the team. We have Gengar, Clefable, Basculegion, Incineroar, Mousehold, Sinistcha. For those who are eagle-eyed and saw this is a Perish Trap setup team. It is hard to execute, but very fun, and the reason pretty much I have 3 supports here. I have Sinistcha, Mousehold, and Clefable, and 4 supports, sorry. Clefable, Mousehold, Sinistcha, and Incineroar, and Basculegion is just backup damage in case I needed it. This is the stat spread, and I'm completely fine with sharing this team. This is the team ID. And this is view the details of this team. This is a standard rain team with Meganium as your secondary damage dealer, Basculina and Archelodon your primary damage dealers, depending on if you need the speed and quick damage of Wave Crash Basculegion, or if you can afford to use Electro Shot on Archelodon. And here's the stats, and you can see the team ID at top. I've always aimed to make sure that the levels are more or less set up so I can defend against multiple things. Like the reason Pelipper doesn't have a focus sash and instead has a citrus berry with a little bit of survivability with special defense and HP is because I would bring Unburdened Sneasler if I need the speed and instant damage. The Sneasler, for example, was very good at dealing with enemy Archelodons because if you're not intimidated, you one-shot it with close combat with max attack and max speed. Basculegion is just good to have, and I always kept Basculegion at a speed tier where you would, with Choice Scarf, outspeed everything except for Aerodactyl. Like, Aerodactyl is the one thing I couldn't outspeed with Basculegion, but that was on purpose, because if Aerodactyl is coming out, I'm instead setting up with, like, Furgraph Trick Room, as opposed to using the speed of Basculegion. Whereas then we go back to the Perish Song to also help with this. Basculegion, I also taught Head Smash to deal with opposing Dragonites because sometimes those are very hard to deal with. But the setup was basically, most of the time, Gengar Incineroar. If there's ghosts on the enemy team, I would do Gengar Mousehold. And Perish Song would be harder to execute, but by follow me on Mousehold, you'd be able to survive for a significantly long amount of time, especially if the enemy team has a Basculegion and they're trying to use Basculegion to one-shot the Gengar before it gets its attacks off. And you'll see here, the entire stat spread is survivability. I need to live as long as possible and keep Gengar alive as long as possible. But yeah, this is my team. Good luck.